student of the University of Boya, Faculty of Education. We are about to present a short video on a school as a formal organization. Before we begin, I would like my course mates to introduce what is an organization.
An organization in an educational foundation refers to a structure that is responsible for the implementing, the managing of the foundation goals and initiatives. This foundation consists of board of directors, educational leaders, teachers, volunteers who come together to advance this foundation's goals and mission. The foundation comes together to oversee activities such as fundraising, scholarship distribution, grant making, program development, and advocacy efforts. There are three types of education: formal education, informal education, and non-formal education. Now, what is a school as a formal education? A school as a formal education is a well-structured and hierarchical institution that provides education and facilitates learning for learners. A school as a formal education also has a well-structured administrative roles such as the principal, the staffs, and support staffs. It also have a well-defined rules and regulations that characterize the conduct of the teachers and the students. Next in line will be the characteristics of a school as a formal education.
Talking about the characteristic of a school as a formal education, we have many. I will give some few. One, hierarchical structure. The school follows a hierarchical structure. For example, like in a secondary school, you have the principal, the vice principal, the HOD, and the teachers, as well as in the primary school where you have the headmaster, the teacher, and the students. The next point will be the rules and regulations. The school follows rules and regulations that governs the school, and it helps the teachers and students to behave well, and even in their dressing code and disciplinary sanctions and codes. We also have division of labor. The school also follows division of labor in such a way that the teachers who are teaching and the principal who is doing the managerial work and other administrative tasks is being carried by different personnel in the school. We also have specialization where the teachers who are being employed, they are teaching a specific subject in their particular area. Classmate is going to talk about other characteristics of a school as a formal organization.
Another characteristic of a formal organization is bureaucracy. That's a bureaucratic structure. This is seen whereby the structure of a school takes rules and regulations from the hierarchy to the low class teachers. Again, goals and objectives. A school has a specific goal and objective that is guiding the students or the pupils in a class. Another another characteristic of standardization. A school strives to standardization its process and produces to ensure consistency in education provided to students.
Some of the disadvantages of a formal organization are bureaucracy, rigidity, standardization, conformity, limited resources, and inequality. I'll talk about bureaucracy. A formal organization can be bureaucratic with its layers of administrators and decision makers, making it difficult for information to flow through and also making it for things to be done on time. Another disadvantage is standardization. Schools often have standardized testing and grading systems which can prioritize memorization and grade learners over creativity thinking and creativity. This can lead to lack of innovation and originality of education. Now at we are going to look the an informal organization in a formal within a formal organization.
An informal organization refers to a social structure that arises spontaneously within a group of people. This structure has no formal or official, is not formally or officially designated. The structure emerges as people interact with one another. There are examples of informal organization can be a clique, social network where people meet together. Informal organizations have significant roles to play within a formal organization, as informal organization affects the communication pattern, information flow within a formal organization. Right away, we are going to talk about the characteristics of an informal organization. My course mate will handle this.
Okay, we're going to talk about the characteristics of an informal organization. The first characteristic we'll talk about is emergence. An informal organization emerges spontaneously from a formal organization. It has no formal structure or formal design. We have the second characteristic, which is voluntary membership. Here, you don't have any steps to become a member. You can become a member at your will. The third characteristic is informal communication. They don't have a formal pattern of communication like hierarchical system in a formal organization. Here, you can communicate at random because you're dealing with persons you're related to. Then the fourth is the influence and power. With an informal organization, influence and power is not structured. Here, power is not hierarchical. Like voting system, members appoint their members by choice. Thank you. My colleague is going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of an informal organization.
On the advantages of informal organization, and I'm going to list some advantages. We have improved communication, we have increased collaboration, we have flexibility, we have innovations, we have faster decisions. And I'll start by improve communication. Informal organization can facilitate open and honest communication between employees, creating a transparent and supportive work environment. And we also talk on the increased collaboration. When employees are able to form informal relationship, they are more likely to collaborate and work together more effectively. We talk on flexibility. Informal organizations are often more flexible and adaptable than formal ones, allowing for a more dynamic response to changes in the environment or market. So my next colleague is going to come in to talk about the disadvantages of informal organization.
Some disadvantages of informal education. Firstly, we have bureaucracy, we have rigidity, we have standardization, and we have limited resource. Looking on limited resource, a, a school cannot have limited resource, and as such, it can.
Having heard about formal education and informal education, I will be introducing on non-formal education. Non-formal education is a process of education whereby students, I can say students acquire knowledge and skills which are used in their day-to-day activities. Now, this form of education is given to children who are less privileged or marginalized that have not had the opportunity to go to formal education. And then also, it is well organized in the form that they can be given diplomas, not certificates. They can be given diplomas at the end of their course. And also, these skills which are acquired can be gotten from, you can have it online, you can have it in workshops, you can have it even in the library, you can have these skills. So, uh, my course mate will be talking on the various characteristics as regards non-formal education. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be talking on some key characteristics of a non-formal organization. And the first characteristic is flexibility. They are designed to be flexible, not having some complications. We have voluntary. This means that participation is usually voluntary. We also have informal. In a non-formal organization, it holds in informal settings. That is why we say it is non-formal. All right, my next colleague will be coming to talk on the advantages of this non-formal education.
Okay, actually, I'll be talking on some of the advantages of non-formal education. I will list some of them, then some of them I'm going to explain. The first one we talk about flexibility, the next one we talk about practicality, the other one we talk about personalized learning, and the other one we talk on lifelong learning. I'll start by explaining the first advantages of the non-formal education. The first one is flexibility. Flexibility in terms of location, time, and place. That is, the learners are allowed to choose where and when they want to progress, or where and when they want to learn. The next one we talk of inclusiveness. Non-formal education is inclusive because it provides the learners with different abilities and backgrounds with skills, and it also provides opportunities for those that have not undergone the formal education system. My classmate is going to talk on some of the disadvantages of the non-formal education system in Cameroon.
I'm here to talk on the point for disadvantages of non-formal education. And under the disadvantages, we have unequal accessibility. Unequal accessibility in the fact that for the less privileged, like the poor, they find it difficult to access this system of education because they don't have money to like purchase the practical skills in the system of the organization. Thank you.
Okay, talking on the similarities of the three forms of education, that is the formal, non-formal, and informal system of education, they have several similarities, such as they have active participation. That is, in this form of in the three forms of education, the process of educating the learners is in an active motion. Also, they also have the development of skills. In the development of skills, in all the three forms of education, skills are being developed whereby whereby they use the skills in various settings, such as in schools, in their workshops, and in their walks of life. Thank you.
Conclude, a school is a prime example of a formal organization that plays a crucial role in forming the society. Together we say, thank you.